Hello viewers, how are you? This is me, Mike Bennett, doing my first video podcast. I've done audio podcasts since 2006 and I've not done a video podcast in my entire life. But I'm going to try to do one for you today. I did try this earlier on and I got everything worked out, or at least I thought I had everything worked out, and then I must have recorded about an hour's worth of material. Then I played it back and realized that the microphone was connected to the wrong lead. It's complicated. There's things behind the scenes here that you can't see, and I got two red leads. This red lead and this, well, you can't see it. There's another red lead, and I got them mixed up. Rookie mistake. Never mind. Not important. The important thing is that it is now. Oh crikey! That it's now recording, and I'm hopefully going to make a good fist of it. Right. Forgive me. Go away, red lead. Right. Before we go any further, I would just like to say
Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, because it is Christmas, isn't it? And I hope you have a very merry one, a very happy holiday season, and indeed a fantastic new year. But whilst we're on that topic, I'm not sure if we're going to, because Pauline this morning tested positive for COVID, and she's all right. She's got mild symptoms. She's taking medication. And I guess she's got mild flu symptoms, at least at the moment. But yeah, obviously it sucks, and I'm almost certainly going to get it as well. How can you not? I mean, we're living in a small house together, and we're breathing the same air. It's winter. We can't have all the windows open. So yeah, that's probably going to happen to me too. So I thought I better get this done while I'm still healthy enough to do it. So it's the morning of the next day, and Pauline's condition has deteriorated a bit. She has a high temperature and she's not feeling so great, which is obviously predictable. It's COVID. As for me, I'm all right. I mean, I get sensations like maybe I've got a headache coming on, maybe I've got a sore throat coming on, or maybe that's just kind of like, oh, I'm that expectation you have that you're definitely going to come down with something horrible. So you start kind of imagining the symptoms or detecting symptoms where you would normally just ignore them. You know what I mean? This is my audio podcast script I've got written down here, and I'm just going to sort of use it as the basis of what I'm doing. I decided that I was going to do this today on the fly, and I've had a go at it. As I say, I've had a test drive of it, made a mistake or two, and now I'm kind of giving it a go again. So what's going to be in this video podcast? Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my my illustrious history here at YouTube, and then I'm going to have a guest, John Miro, who's going to talk to us briefly about his podcast work, and that'll be it. So, okay, right, let's kick off, shall we, with my illustrious YouTube history. Yeah, obviously this is a video. I've started doing videos lately because I thought I'm missing a trick here. The podcasting world has changed so much, and because I do what I do sort of fiction podcasting, and I don't do really a heck of a lot else. And I just got my head down. I do what I do, and I don't really pay attention to what's going on in the world around me. And of course, technology has just come on so much, and everything has changed. Like YouTube, I was on YouTube in 2006, and I just used it as a kind of a thing to promote my One Among the Sleepless podcast with. I made these 3 little videos, promo videos for One Among the Sleepless, basically just me running around in pajamas trying to communicate the idea of One Among the Sleepless very badly, really. But it's kind of a hard sort of story to interpret with just one person. But I did my best, and these videos are here on YouTube in this channel that you're watching now. You just have to go right back to the very beginning of it. They're kind of lo-fi, of course, by contemporary standards. They were made in 2006 using, a little kind of snappy snaps camera sort of thing. that shot video. Real innovation at the time, but now, laughably inadequate to the task. Everything's so high def, isn't it, though, these days? And so when you look at those videos now on a high def TV or a phone or a tablet, whatever it might be, they don't look so great, which is putting it mildly. They look kind of really fuzzy and stuff, but still, the story, for lack of a better word, is still there. And so, yeah, I think you should check those out if you haven't checked them out already. And I did that, as I say, to try to promote One Among the Sleepless. And then a couple of years later, in 2010, thereabouts, I did my little Safe Danger trilogy, 3 videos of me encountering all sorts of peril in suburbia, which actually wasn't particularly perilous at all, hence the name Safe Danger. And on the back of those, again, I tried to promote my podcast. And I don't know if it worked. I don't think it did. I don't think I ever picked up a single viewer as a result of any of my my efforts on YouTube. And so basically, yeah, I sort of packed it in. I stopped thinking of YouTube as a thing that I could use as a podcaster, and got on with my thing, as you know. But time went by and YouTube evolved, and you kind of find yourself watching YouTube on your TV all the time, don't you? Well, at least I do. And that's when I sort of started to discover these other podcasts on there, like Joe Rogan, for example, who'll put his audio podcast onto video, but he's got like cameras in his studio. You've probably seen this, he's got camera on himself, he's got camera on his guest, and it looks really cool and profesh, and you think, oh, I wish I could do that. Wish I had guests, wish I had a studio, wish I had a team working for me to make it all possible. But, I don't. So I kind of thought, well, obviously it's not for me. I'm a fiction podcaster. But as I say, I'm watching this stuff on my TV, my YouTube TV, and I'm seeing all these other people doing it, these other podcasters doing it. And they're giving it, there's these YouTube videos by podcasters giving advice on how to do it. And I thought, goodness gracious, I'm missing a trick here. I should be utilizing YouTube to my advantage in some way. But how? I don't know. There seems to be a kind of a crossover because podcasters are picking up audience on YouTube, and YouTubers are picking up audiences in the podcast sort of realm. They're stripping the audio from their video podcasts and putting it on, not on, but out as podcasts, and they're kind of growing. And me, I'm not. I've always done things the same way. And so here I am. It's 2023 almost, and I'm going to try something else in 2023. I'm going to try getting my stuff onto YouTube more. This is my first go. It's probably not great, to say the least, but it's a start, isn't it? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So do check out my early videos. They are old, they are early, they are a bit grainy, but they're quite fun. Indeed, comb through my old videos. You'll find all sorts of things there, classic stories and stuff. I don't know. You might even find some ventriloquist videos of me, which are not great either. But that's neither here nor there. All right. What other news? I see here that Season 4, I beg your pardon, of Underwood and Flinch will begin soon in my free podcast feed. January the 4th, Wednesday, January the 4th, Season 4 of Underwood and Flinch begins in my free podcast feed, which for a lot of people means my Spotify feed. I don't have a Spotify feed, I just have one feed that happens to go to Spotify. That same feed also goes to Apple Podcasts and everything else that people use to listen to podcasts. But for some people, they just call it my Spotify feed. But anyway, yes, rhubarb. That's the feed that the Season 4 will be starting in. Okay, moving on from that, what else have we got? Yes, my guest. Let's talk to my guest, shall we? Oh, I'll talk to my guest. You can watch. I did this a couple of days ago. I was on a Zoom chat with my podcasting pal of many years, John Miro, and we were just catching up, on stuff, as you do. And just as we were coming to the end of our call, it occurred to me, hey, why don't I ask John to be a guest on my show? So I did, and he said yes, even though there was no preparation for either of us, and it was all a bit kind of last minute. ad-lib stuff, but still, we just did it. So I'll show you that in just a second. But before I do, I just want to tell you a little bit about John. Like me, he's a podcast novelist. He writes novels and makes podcasts of them. But he specializes in science fiction. So if you like science fiction and you like, free podcast audio stories, which I know you do, then I think you'll enjoy his work. Yes. So check out his feed, why don't you, at servingworlds.com. I'll place a link for that in the show notes of the video, and QVT. So, John, how are you?
I am well. I am
Good.
well in a not too cold Canada for once. Global warming has its upswing, it seems, in the middle of winter in Canada.
Fantastic. It's warm and wet. Warm. No, I wouldn't say it's warm. It's wet and windy, and nowhere near as cold as it should be here. But it has been chilly lately. But as you say, that's just global warming. What can you do? But anyway,
Don't think of the future hellscape. Enjoy the warmth.
For sure. So I just wanted to say, because we haven't got a great deal of time left on this call, I wanted to just allow John a moment to tell you who he is and what he does. So, John, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm this fellow that stumbled into Mike a long time ago. We've known each other for going on 10 years, Mike. Mike actually provided a voice to one of my earlier podcasts, which is actually replaying now. I'm replaying the Enemy Lines novel, which he helped me promote with a small trailer. I'll have to put that back in my feed as well.
Yeah, and so Serving Worlds that's a podcast that people can subscribe to.
Servingworlds.com. You can subscribe for free. I'll be populating Enemy Lines on YouTube for the new year as a treat to everybody. And I continue to tick along with stories there as well.
Quickly, because we've very little time, but tell people something about what they can expect from Serving Worlds when they go there.
When you come to Serving Worlds, you're going to find character-rich stories, mostly science fiction. All I care about is telling a story where you either love to hate or love to root for the characters involved. That's what I care about when I read, and that's what I want to give people, usually in space, usually with something alien or futuristic or an alternate universe. And I also like to do shared world stuff and work with other authors or other voice talent sometimes. It's all a playground, and I want to tell a good story.
Fantastic. Okay.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all there is. We got cut off a few moments later. But my thanks again to John Miro for being my guest on this little video podcast bit. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope he enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. And I'd like to do it again sometime with someone. I don't know who. So watch this space. Hey, who knows? Who knows? If this television series happens, if this Underwood and Flinch television series happens, I might even get sort of showbiz stars from the TV show. You never know. I might get the producer on. I might get one of the stars. Not impossible. Unless, of course, it doesn't happen. In which case, it's definitely not possible. But let's not focus on that. Let's not dwell on that. Let's keep our fingers crossed for Underwood and Flinch, the TV series. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really have much more for you. This has been an experiment. I hope it hasn't been a failed experiment. I guess I'll find out in the edit if I post it. I'm going to post it even if it's awful, because I figure, what the hell? What have I got to lose? I mean, it's only a video, isn't it? So I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. And do remember that the free podcast of Underwood and Flinch Season 4 begins on January the 4th. It's a Wednesday. Be about 15 episodes, and it's going to be jolly cool. So tune in, ladies and gentlemen. I need a glass of water. But I'd just like to say Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2023. But from me for now then, until the moon rises again over this podcast in 2023, farewell. Yes. Music on the podcast is by Andrew Rothman at arothman.com. Crazy, man, crazy.